New at 6 on Eyewitness News.
Symbols of hate. What police are doing to track down whoever left racist writings on 2 local buildings. Plus, former President Bill Clinton comes to Connecticut. What he said to students across the state. And people all over the state are feeling the pinch of high gas prices. What some people are doing to save money and stay healthy.
Eyewitness News is everywhere. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6.
Symbols of Nazi hate on one of the holiest days of the Jewish calendar. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Dennis House.
And I'm Denise DeCenzo. Outrage tonight in West Hartford. Swastikas found on 2 buildings there. These symbols were spray painted on a CVS and a church in the Elmwood section of town at the intersection of Newington and New Britain Avenues.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Len Bestoff took the mobile newsroom to West Hartford.
Look really closely, you can make out the outline of a spray-painted swastika on the side of this church. And take a look across the parking lot. You can see whoever did that put another one over at that CVS drugstore. Police responded to the Elmwood Community Church Sunday after a parishioner called about the graffiti. The spray-painted swastikas police found both had a 223 beside them. 223, the name of a mini gang of teens in town. At this point, police cannot say if this is related to that group. They do know that even though the symbols were painted on a drugstore and a church, they strike a nerve with members of the town's Jewish community as they prepare tonight for Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year.
And we are aware of the sensitivity to that issue. That's why we take this very seriously, and we don't want this to continue. We don't want our community to be afraid.
The swastikas brought this response from Gary Jones of West Hartford, who helps lead the state's Anti-Defamation League.
In this country, they're mostly good people. And when people come out of the woodwork and do a terrible thing like this, the whole community of good people supports the people who are affected by this insensitivity.
Now, we mentioned to the manager of the CVS store that the swastika is still on the back of her business, and she said that they're sending a scrubbing crew over to have this taken off, perhaps by the end of the day, adding, it is very disturbing. In West Hartford, Len Bestoff, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
And we should point out that CVS just called our Channel 3 Eyewitness Newsroom to tell us that the swastika on the back of the store has been painted over.
A Hartford middle school student is in some big trouble tonight after being caught with a pellet gun. The discovery was made by a security guard and a custodian at Quirk Middle School this morning. They saw a student acting suspiciously and told school administrators. They searched the student's locker and found a BB gun. The student will be suspended and possibly expelled. Parents we spoke with were pretty surprised.
It's kind of unusual. I mean, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I have never heard anything about no guns here, so I hope they do something about it.
By the way, Hartford Public Schools do not have metal detectors, but security guards do have magnetic wands.
Across town at the University of Hartford, a student is under arrest accused of selling drugs. West Hartford police arrested Mitchell Fox on campus. Officers say the university's public safety officers searched Fox's room after a resident advisor tipped them off. They found marijuana, they say, and packaging materials. Fox has been charged with possession of marijuana and possession with intent to sell.
In New Haven, a manhunt is on for a suspect police were forced to fire upon. Another suspect was hit and is in custody. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Jessica Schneider is live tonight with the mobile newsroom in the Elm City with more. Jess?
Well, Dennis, that New Haven police officer will be on desk duty for the duration of this investigation. Meanwhile, detectives are still sifting through all of the evidence found at the early morning chase scene, including a loaded handgun. 2 suspects on the run in New Haven this morning. It was a chase that wound through the streets near Congress Ave, and it was all because of reports they had a loaded handgun.
We had information that there were subjects in this car with firearms.
At about 1:30 this morning, New Haven police spotted the suspected car and followed it along Down Street. The vehicle soon stopped. The 2 suspects got out of their car and took off.
New Haven police officers gave chase, and while conducting a search in the rear yards, encountered a subject who resisted their attempts to detain him. During this encounter, one New Haven police officer fired their weapon 1 time.
One of the suspects was shot in the arm by that police officer. He was taken to Yale New Haven Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, but the other suspect took off. Detectives spent hours on the scene searching for clues that might connect them to that missing suspect. Now they're relying on the car and the loaded handgun for tips.
We're still investigating the registration and whether it is a properly registered vehicle and if it is a stolen vehicle or not.
And I did just talk with New Haven police. They say tonight, hours after that chase, they are still looking for that second suspect. Live in New Haven, Jessica Schneider, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Now to the tragedy on the tracks and some sad developments to report tonight. Eyewitness News is learning the girl who survived the wreck is brain dead. 4-year-old Courtney Metzermacher is in critical condition at Connecticut Children's Medical Center in Hartford, but her parents say they are just waiting for her to die peacefully. Metzermacher's grandmother and 8-year-old brother were killed at the scene.
Hartford police say they've arrested the man they say murdered a gas station attendant in the South End last month. 21-year-old Joshua Falcon is charged with killing 27-year-old Zahir Khan. Khan was working at the Sunoco station on Franklin Avenue when he was robbed and then shot several times in the chest. Falcon faced a judge today. His bail has been set at $2 million.
Students at Western Connecticut State University are talking about their big visitor today, former President Bill Clinton. He came to thank students from across the state for their efforts to help victims of the tsunami, specifically in Sri Lanka. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Kane was in Danbury for today's ceremonies. Dan?
Yes, indeed. About 1,800 students from schools across Connecticut crowded into the Athletic Center at Western Connecticut State to catch a glimpse of the former president and to accept his thanks for a job well done. Each of the 350 schools, which collectively raised almost $300,000, sent representatives to today's gathering. The money is being used to build a school for 1,500 students in Sri Lanka whose schools were destroyed by the tsunami. President Clinton's arrival was eagerly awaited.
I feel like I'm really lucky, and it's just like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
And they're telling us all these stories about how President Clinton met President Kennedy, and there's the famous story about him shaking his hand. And thinking that if there's one person here who grows up to be president, this is just an amazing experience to be there with them.
You have any interest in growing up to be the president?
Maybe.
The president didn't disappoint, beaming back at the crowd that was obviously thrilled just to be in his presence. He told the students they had done more than simply build a school. They had created a bond with the students in Sri Lanka through their hard work and their generosity.
You took a little bit of time out of your life to help children half a world away is something I hope you will continue to do for the rest of your life. It will make all the difference in the world you live in. And just remember, ordinary citizens like you have more power than ever before in human history to build the future that you want. I thank you for doing it. God bless you. Thank you.
Today's event was organized by the Connecticut Association of Schools, which also coordinated the fundraising, which was matched dollar for dollar by the Brothers Brother Foundation, bringing the grand total to $600,000. Dan Kane, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
People of Durham may be making a sizable contribution to the Hurricane Katrina relief effort. Tonight they will vote on whether to make a $10,000 donation, which would come from town funds. The money would probably go to the American Red Cross or to AmeriCares. Durham is not the only Connecticut town to donate money to the relief effort. Last month, aldermen in New Milford decided to donate $30,000 from the town's general funds, but residents did not like the idea. They were outraged, saying the town just doesn't have the money to be spending on that sort of thing. The Board of Finance will have the final say at a meeting on October 12th.
Attorney General Richard Blumenthal is urging FEMA to review its emergency response plan for the Indian Point nuclear power plant in New York. Thousands of Connecticut residents are within a 50-mile radius of that plant, which is located in Buchanan, New York. Blumenthal says recent natural disasters have shown serious flaws in warning and evacuation planning.
The new way the state is helping to preserve its history.
And how a Connecticut company could help you save on gas. That story when Channel 3 Eyewitness News returns in 60 seconds.
You're watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6. Eyewitness News is everywhere. This is WFSB Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6. Eyewitness News is everywhere.
And Eyewitness News is on the shoreline now, where more mosquitoes have tested positive for the West Nile virus. The Department of Health reports mosquitoes trapped in Bridgeport and New Haven last week have tested positive for the potentially deadly disease. This season, West Nile has been found in 21 cities and towns. 2 people have been infected.
The state is launching a new effort to preserve its legal history. The newly chartered Connecticut Supreme Court Historical Society met for the first time today in the Supreme Court chambers. Former state Supreme Court Justice Ellen Peters hopes the group will be able to help future judges.
So one of my hopes for a historical society is that the Historical Society will be critical and helpful not only in recovering our past, but also helpful and critical in helping us to do a better job in resolving the cases that come to us now and that we can expect to come to us in the near future.
The Society plans to preserve local judicial history through scholarships and education.
Don't want to pay for gas? We'll tell you how you can get to work without filling up your tank, and there's a big clue right there.
And enjoy the dry weather while it lasts. A much-needed rain is on the way.
If you see breaking news, call the Eyewitness News tip line at 1-866-289-0333 or email us at newsdesk3@WFSB.com.
Kelly and Charlie as TV faves. Next Entertainment Tonight.
Gas prices continue to soar, and now a local company can help you avoid the pain at the pump. Well, the state is seeing an increase in the number of people walking to work and riding their bikes to work.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Diana Rocco is live with the mobile newsroom at a bike shop in Brantford, where the sales there have nearly doubled. Diana?
That's right. We are live here at Zane Cycles, where just recently they have put a sign up on their building and it says gas $3.28 a gallon, biking $0. That really puts things in perspective. It started as a marketing ploy and it seems to be working because bikes here are flying off the shelves. Prices are up, and fortunately for Chris Zane, so are bike sales. He says it's not a coincidence.
Since the price of gas has gone up and people have started to find alternate ways to save money on fuel, just in September alone, we had a record month.
That's because more Connecticut commuters are hitting the road on 2 wheels.
Instead of taking the car, I suit up and I'm on the bike and I'm going. I come down here, 15 is a 30-mile trip. I come down here and go back. I do everything. I love it.
So Chris has put together a commuter package.
There's a rear rack on the bike that'll allow you to bungee cord and strap things on if you're not taking a lot to work, just some bag that you're going to carry a quick change of clothes in or whatnot.
With blinkers and headlights, this deluxe package could run you more than $300.
But you can save that pretty quickly in gas over even just a month or two if you're really going to make a commitment to commuting.
A commitment bike shop employee Al made years ago. His commute is only about 10 miles each way, but he says he saves about $1,000 a year.
A lot of money. I normally don't drive. Normally once or twice a week. Sometimes I take the whole month off from the car.
And on a nice day like today, who wouldn't want to ride their bike to work? It certainly saves you a trip to the gym. Now, if I was actually riding this bike, I would have a helmet on because bikers, like motorists, do have to abide by all safety and traffic rules, because if you don't, the police will give you a ticket. We are live tonight in Brantford. Diana Rocco, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Time now for the forecast. Great weather for anything outside. Beautiful day.
Walking, biking.
And exactly, and it looks like it's going to last for a little bit.
Good.
We need some rain. We have a deficit for the year for almost 2 inches. And you know, it was a very dry month for September as well, and it's going to affect the fall foliage at some point. You know, we're getting close to Columbus Day weekend, and a lot of people will be coming to the Northeast and to New England specifically for that. And it looks like as we get closer to the end of the work week, we may have to deal with some rain. But right now, let's check out live early warning Doppler 3000. Scanning the skies constantly, nothing happening tonight. Just a few mid and high level clouds out there moving across the state. And again, this is a dry picture. It's going to remain dry for at least the next 2 days. But then some significant changes. They're heading toward Connecticut for the end of the work week and into the upcoming weekend. Currently, though, across the state, our live early warning neighborhood weather showing the temperatures across the shoreline in the mid-60s right now with an onshore breeze, 65 for Groton, 67 currently at New Haven, while the interior is a little bit warmer. Lower to mid-70s this afternoon were achieved, but right now to 73 in Hartford, down to 69 at Waterbury, and 68 currently in Stores in Norwich, currently right between 69 and 70 degrees. Our satellite and radar picture back through the past 12 hours, really not much happening across the Northeast. High pressure, the big blue H, controlling our weather. We'll continue to do so. We have clockwise flow around that high. It's going to continue our south to southeasterly flow. It's going to continue to bring a little bit more moisture up in our direction. So with clear skies and fairly calm winds overnight, we are expecting more fog over the course of the next few mornings. So anticipate that for your morning commute. But then by the afternoon, plentiful sunshine all across the area. In fact, our live picture right now from downtown Hartford showing those clear skies, a very pleasant evening on tap. The sun up for only another 15 minutes or so before it begins to set. So enjoy this evening for sure. And temperatures tonight by 7 o'clock right around 70 degrees in the Hartford metro area. By 11 o'clock dropping to 62. And then by early tomorrow morning with that fog developing, starting the day at around 55. And our live picture in New Haven as well showing tranquil conditions on this Monday evening. The work week off to a great start. By 7 o'clock we'll be around 67 degrees. By 11 down to 62 with clear skies overnight with that fog by early tomorrow morning posing a problem again for that morning commute. 56 by 7 o'clock, and that fog could be rather dense in some locations, reducing visibilities markedly. Now here's early warning futurecast 3 tomorrow's weather today starting at 7 o'clock this evening, and as the clock advances forward in time, notice there's no green, no gray, meaning no rain, no clouds across the state. We'll start off tomorrow with a lot of sunshine. However, we'll have that moisture around at the surface with those calm winds. We are expecting that patchy fog, so get ready for that tomorrow morning. But by early afternoon, it should become mostly sunny. A day very similar to today with temperatures a degree or two warmer. In fact, we're going to start off in the lower to mid 50s, fairly mild for this time of year. Forecasting 55 for Hartford, 54 for New Haven, 51 for Waterbury as well for Willimantic, 52 for Norwich, and 50 for Torrington. Tomorrow afternoon, mid to upper 70s. Some areas may get close to 80 degrees. Normal high for this time of year is about 68. So a good 10 degrees above what we normally expect for this time of year. Forecasting 76 for Torrington, 78 Danbury, 77 for Norwich, and 79 for Willimantic. The shoreline, for instance, New London, a little bit on the cool side like we saw today with that onshore breeze, warming into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Town by town into north central Connecticut with mostly sunny skies tomorrow afternoon. We should see temperatures into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees, 79 for Bristol as well for Glastonbury, 78 Simsbury, forecasting 80 degrees for Hartford. And into southern Connecticut, the shoreline, again, a little bit cooler with that onshore breeze, 73 for Madison and Milford, 75 New Haven. Further inland, though, upper 70s, 79 for Meriden, 78 for Cromwell, also for East Haddam. And on the Channel 3 early warning 5-day forecast, a carbon copy of tomorrow's weather for Wednesday, but then on Thursday, a cold front's going to approach. It's going to bring us first some more clouds, but then by late in the day, a chance for scattered showers, even a few rumbles of thunder, not out of question. But then for Friday, that front is going to stall, bringing with it some wind and a lot of rain. And it could linger into the first part of the weekend as an area of low pressure rides right up along this cold front. So the first part of the upcoming weekend right now looking rather soggy. Temperatures, though, will also be on the cool side. Another big change for us. We're looking at morning lows both Saturday and Sunday in the 40s, afternoon highs in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. So we will soon be transitioning from above normal temperatures to somewhat below.
Thank you, Mark. Wi-Fi continues to spread across Connecticut. That's one of the stories we have for you tonight as Eyewitness News goes everywhere, town by town. In Beacon Falls, residents will vote whether to sell the former Grange building on Old Turnpike Road tomorrow. This is the second town meeting on this issue. Residents voted in January to delay any decision on the future of the building to see what offers the town would get if the building were to be sold. In Meriden, downtown could soon go wireless. The new wireless network will provide free internet access to anyone who is in downtown Meriden, and it could be turned on as soon as Wednesday. The system will first have to be tested before anyone uses it. In Hamden, kiosks selling gourmet food are coming to the former Rite Aid building at Dixwell Avenue and Mather Street. Renovation begins soon on Paradise Village Market, which the developer describes as a mini version of Quincy Market in Boston. And that's a look at what's happening everywhere in Connecticut, town by town.
And new at 11, police pull out the hound dogs to search for a kidnapping suspect.
And they did get their man, but get this, the family knows the suspect.
Plus a tragedy on Lake George. Investigators are a step closer to finding out what happened there. They have resurfaced that tour vessel. Tonight, find out what federal investigators are uncovering as they search for more clues. It's coming up tonight on Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11.
Exactly when and where storms will hit. Eyewitness News early warning weather.
Two different champagne parties at Fenway Park over the weekend. The Yankees first and the Red Sox yesterday. Now, the bubbly is now history as the teams get ready for playoff runs. It could lead them to face each other in the American League Championship Series for the third straight year. The Yankees open playoff action in Anaheim tomorrow night. They won the East with a win Saturday in Boston. First pitch in Anaheim is at 8 o'clock Tuesday night. Game 1 of a best-of-5 American League Divisional Series. Mike Mussina will pitch for New York. Cy Young candidate and 21-game winner Bartolo Colon pitches for the Angels. The Sox made their playoff appearance official on Sunday. Step 1 on the road to a repeat comes Tuesday afternoon at 4 when Matt Clement pitches in Chicago. He meets White Sox starter Jose Contreras, the one-time Yankee who was the pitcher of the month in September. No pitcher in baseball, in fact, has been better lately than Contreras. As for all the pre-series predictions listing the Red Sox as favorites, Terry Francona says forget about them.
But what happens is the game gets played on the field. Some people inevitably rise to the occasion. Somebody does something special. Somebody struggles. You know, I guess from my point of view, I hope it's their guys that struggle.
I think with the 99 wins, you should get a little respect and a little love, but obviously, I kind of like it that way.
The Detroit Tigers have fired manager Alan Trammell after 3 seasons in which his team struggled, finishing 20 games under 500 this year. Former Pirate, Marlin, and Rocky manager Jim Leyland is a leading candidate to take over. A short week for the Yukon football team has the Huskies hosting Syracuse Friday night on national TV. It's the Big East opener for Yukon after going 3-1 in non-conference play. The latest win coming Saturday at Army, a game that saw redshirt freshman Darius Butler make 3 interceptions, returning this one 86 yards for a fourth-quarter touchdown. That stat line good enough to earn Butler Big East Defensive Player of the Week honors. Falcons quarterback Michael Vick looks like he'll be good to go this Sunday when Atlanta hosts the Patriots. Vick left yesterday's game with a knee injury, but an MRI this morning proved negative. No serious damage to report. High school football and playing out-of-state powerhouses may not be the way to go. Last week, Fitch of Groton lost to Rhode Island state champ Cranston West and proceeded to fall out of the top 10. Now New Britain has slipped from 4th to 10th after being shut out Friday night by Massachusetts heavyweight Zavarian Brothers. The Golden Hurricanes suffered their first loss of the season to Dennis's alma mater, 31-zip. This after losing to Zavarian 49-zip a year ago. Here's the new Day of New London State Coaches Top 10. Greenwich still number 1 with 12 of 13 first-place votes. West Haven jumps from 8 to 4 after beating Notre Dame West Haven on Friday. 6 through 10, Woodland, Massac, Monroe, who drops 2 spots despite staying undefeated. Hyde, New Haven, Trumbull, and New Britain. You can keep your alma mater back in Massachusetts for all Connecticut fans care.
Yeah, I don't know if this rivalry is going to continue next year. I don't know.
It's been a blowout the last 2 years. Yeah.
New Britain's got to come back next year, though.
Oh, that'd be nice.
They do.
That'd be a good way to continue it.
Back up to suburban Boston. Yeah. Thanks, John.
That'll do it for Eyewitness News at 6. Thanks for sharing your time with us tonight.
The CBS Evening News is coming up next. We'll see you at 11. Good night, everybody.